No.
Okay. Hello, people. Welcome to Almost Satan's Program.
Yeah.
Wow.
This episode will be called
isn't it?
Almost Satan's Program.
It's not Halloween yet.
on my
So you're getting a bit carried away.
No, but 666 is Satan's program, so this is almost Satan's.
Oh, I see what you. I see what you're doing there. Except according to the thing, it's 665 tonight.
Stop saying hello.
Yeah, that's why I said it's almost Satan's program.
Oh, I thought you meant it was.
Jesus Christ, you.
Jesus
I know you've been away for a
Doctors,
week.
check your ears.
Been off for a fucking week.
Jeez.
Heaven almighty, and already it's confusing.
We better start the show before Stu forgets what he's doing.
I know, yeah. Well, it's hardly surprising.
Before you get confused and be like, what's the podcast?
I know, I have to keep brushing my teeth so I don't get dementia.
Yeah.
I don't want that as well.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize brushing your teeth was a preventative for dementia.
Apparently, if you don't brush your teeth twice a day, there's a higher risk of developing dementia in older age.
The Duchess works on that issue specifically, and I'm gonna have to see if she's ever heard of that.
It's something to do with the bacteria in your mouth.
Okay,
so there you go. Don't know.
We
It's
should
a
start
relatively new thing, but
the
apparently it's a
show.
thing.
We should
Yes,
start
let's
the show.
start the show.
I'm ready.
Here we go, people. We're gonna start the show.
Bitch.
Fuck your toothbrushing.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Ginny, other fellas will tell you about every single game that they play this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick.
My God, he's right.
Time and Chinny's game breakers.
What?
Here comes Duke with the soundbite saying. Shut the f*** up, kid. Veteran gamers.
This story sucks.
Veteran gamers.
You better be dead or in jail.
It's the veteran gamers.
Buy my book! Buy my book! Buy my book!
Switch that console off before you have to press repeat. Yo.
What are you, on your way to a dick meeting?
Can I finish? Please, can I finish? Okay, I'm finished.
Hello and welcome to episode 665 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yay, 665. What's up, people? I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
And that's Chinny. Stu
Chinny,
is back,
are you
people.
there?
Yay!
Are you
Chinny, Stu is back. Welcome back,
Chinny there.
Stu.
Oh, I'm Chinny. Yeah, sorry, I was muted. Yeah.
Here we go. Here he is.
Sorry, I got a button.
There he is.
He's got a button. Just don't press the button. What's the matter with you?
I don't know.
Honestly.
I'm blowing my nose like every 2 minutes.
Leave the button.
So in case anybody heard before we started, BaxleyBeaumont.dental.com, or some dental practice somewhere, said, according to a study,
we're a video game podcast, by the way. Just like,
yes, we are.
Yeah, we are. We're giving health advice, though. Health advice is good.
Yeah. So the most common, there's a connection between toothbrushing and dementia. The Journal of American Geriatric Society did a study. Researchers followed 5,000 elderly residents of a California retirement community with an age of 81 over an 18-year period and found that those who reported brushing their teeth less than once a day were up to 65% more likely to develop dementia than those who brush daily. So I guess it's like the fact that you have a behavior that's ritualistic and like, but they warned that the study did not provide a cause and effect relationship between brushing teeth and dementia. So it may not be. Well,
I don't know. It could be bacteria.
Stu is right. I'm always going to admit whenever Stu is right. So thank you for being right.
Yeah, but let's be honest, dude. You have to check everything I say. You've got to
check. I check everything everybody says. It's just that Chinny never says anything that I need to check. If he were to say something that I didn't know if I believed it, I'd be like, "Where'd you get that from?"
Bats caused 9/11.
There you go.
What did?
Bats.
Apparently.
Bats.
Everybody thinks they caused COVID. Everybody thinks they caused COVID. But it was actually 9/11. They get it mixed up.
How did you not know that, dude?
I've been to the museum. There's a section on it.
Yeah. He even lives in America and everything. Honestly.
I don't see anything about bats and 9/11.
Are you sure? Have you checked properly?
Well, you've got to watch a few
the
crazy...
burden of proof is on the person making the case. I'm willing to do a little research just up front to see if I can find the thing that you said. And in this case, I did with the dementia and brushing thing. But I'm not finding anything about bats and 9/11.
Okay, all right.
At which point, the burden's on Chinny to prove it.
Okay,
Chinny, the burden's on you to prove.
I don't need to prove nothing.
No, Chinny, that's the wrong way to do it. What you're supposed to do is say, no, I'm telling you, it is.
Oh, yeah. All right.
It is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stu's back.
No,
Welcome
actually-
back, Stu.
To be fair, I'd be more like, why do you need to check? Why don't you just believe me?
Why don't I just
that would be more my
because I don't
response,
believe
to be fair.
anybody. Yeah. When the person at our school put up a little thing that was like, "Oh, Haile Selassie said this quote about leadership," I was like, "That doesn't sound like Haile Selassie." So I looked it up, and I don't think he said it. So I'm not calling that person out in front of the whole school, but I will if he tries.
You're not 100% sure one way or the other. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm pretty sure that he didn't ever say what they said he said.
Okay.
Because the thing with
I've
quotes
got to
is
say,
people... Go ahead.
can I just say, Chinny looks very sexy with that tissue rammed up his nose. Don't you think?
He always looks sexy with a tissue.
I
jammed
just
up his
can't
nose.
stop sneezing. For the last 2 days, I'm just like sneezing.
And snorting.
Yeah, and snorting.
I know. I know. It's disgusting. I know.
And the snort,
I know.
Sneeze.
But you
I
don't.
would say it was disgusting.
It's just disgusting. I've had to have it for the last 3 days now, 2 days,
Stu,
whatever.
I don't know how
Yes.
much of the preface, the prologue, I'm going to leave in before we start the show officially.
Well,
so
no,
how about
but
this?
I think
Go ahead.
we should
Yeah.
deal with the elephant in the room, really, as to why I wasn't here last week.
Where you been?
I'm not going to go into
This is a heck of a story time,
My
people.
favorite
Yeah, it is.
time. It's story time.
So-
Story
Jenny,
time.
if I have to mute myself while I'm eating, you have to mute yourself when you're snorting.
Here's the thing. So I wasn't here last week, but the last time we recorded was the night before I ended up in hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say what it is, kinda. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but I have got a heart condition. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a heart attack, so I didn't have a heart attack, but what I have got is quite a serious heart condition. So I ended up in hospital for a week.
Yeah.
And now I'm on loads of fucking meds, and I'm on diuretics that make me like pee all the time. So I'm constantly going to the toilet, which is nice. So if I have to get up mid-show, it's because I've got to go for a piss. Just saying, like, I'm just going to put
That's
it
fine.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's nothing to do with age. It's just because of what's happening. I
Keep
guess.
telling
The
yourself it's
body
not
wants
for you.
what it wants. The body breaks down. You
I
got to
know,
take care
yeah,
of it.
yeah. I've got to take 5 pills a day now, so I rattle
Now
when
the-
I walk. Do you know what the most galling thing about all this is?
At some point, you're going to have to
Alright.
buy some adult diapers. Is that the most galling thing?
Yeah.
No, the most galling thing about this, from now on, when I go to the dentist or anywhere like that, and they give you a medical questionnaire,
Yeah.
and I used to put no on everything. Now I'm after go.
Now you have
Ah.
to check a box that
I'm gonna
says
have to put
yes.
fucking
That's
yes
the most
on.
galling
That
thing
is-
of all.
that is
Your
literally the
heart's
worst.
in a
It is.
bad way. You're going to have
It
to take it
is.
easy. Ah, fuck.
In my,
Now I've got to
check my
read
box.
whole life,
this stupid form.
yeah, in my whole life, I've never had to put yes on anything.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna
Yeah,
put yes.
I
on
wonder if you'll
loads
get
of
different
shit. I
drugs
mean,
at the dentist
It ain't
now.
even gonna be. This ain't even gonna be one box. I mean, I'm talking multiple boxes. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
There's a
And in
box.
addition,
There's a
right?
box. If you say it says, tick if you're northern and skip to section 5, isn't there
Yeah.
really? But
Now also, in addition, right? Want to go on a foreign holiday? It's going to be like, oh, that'll be £5,000 for your holiday insurance.
yeah.
Great. So that's
Yeah.
a thing, right?
Yeah.
Can't drive my car, so I'm not allowed to drive.
You're not allowed to
I'm
drive.
not allowed to drive. I have to, nope. I've got to inform the DVLA, otherwise
that
it's a
sucks.
£1,000 fine. So I've got to
Wow.
let them know. And I've also, obviously, at some point when I do get around to having to drive again, inform my insurance company so that they can add another £1,000 onto the cost of that as well.
I think the question that everybody has on their lips about your health and the tough week that you've had is
Yeah.
how was the catering at the hospital?
Now, gotta say, overall,
Yeah.
it was actually all right. It was all right. I had, what I have realised is I need to eat a lot less.
Right.
Which I am doing right now. Positives, right? Although not really a good way to do it, but I've lost 1.5 stone in 2 weeks just in fluid alone.
Yes.
Hey.
So every cloud has a silver lining. I mean, I wanted to lose 3 stones. I've only got to lose another, I don't know, 2.5 now. It's not even that, is it?
As always, the important thing is to be healthy and not just
No.
focus
No.
on...
No. 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 No.
No,
The important thing is to
no,
look
no,
good. Look good.
I can see, look, Duke, I can see my feet again. That is a win.
And you willy.
Seeing your feet's great, but we don't want to
Yeah,
get fixated
seeing
on the
my
body
feet.
ego.
I can see other things that protrude that I couldn't before.
You
so,
willy.
You know,
I
You
can
willy.
see things that
My
protrude.
willy. I can see my willy.
I hope you can
The willy
see.
went along down now.
I don't know what you can see first, your feet or your willy, but whatever it is, I'm
Willy,
happy for you.
probably. You know, just saying.
Yeah, sure.
So yes, it's been, to say the last 2 weeks has been surreal. It's probably a bit of an understatement, really.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still here, and I'm all right. You know, I'm fine. I'm functioning. Weird thing though, I have to sleep now on a wedge.
Oof.
Because
door
of my
wedge?
life. No, on like a wedge pillow. So I
All
have
right.
to sleep
Why?
at an angle because if I lie flat, it feels like someone's pressing on my chest.
Where is
So-
the wedge?
So I put it sort of at the end of my bed with my pillow on, so it's kind of it makes it's like I'm half sat up.
Oh,
if you
right.
will.
Right.
So I'm sat at like lying at an angle rather than flat.
Yeah.
Can't lie on my side. I always slept on my side. That's not good.
That's
So
not good.
sleeping on side is out.
See, it's
So I
funny.
have
I have to sleep on my side or I'll get cramps in the legs.
Yeah, so I can't do that. But to be fair, I've slept through the night for the last 4 nights for the first time in probably 2 months. So you know,
Wow. Well,
again,
that's good.
you know, that's kind of a win.
There's positives and negatives everywhere.
There is. But I'm just staying positive, you know, and I'm seeing
Yeah.
some specialist nurse people tomorrow. So hopefully they'll give us. We've got a 40-minute appointment, so that's kind of like a talk about everything thing, I
Right.
guess.
So every week we just talk about our health. Have you
I
noticed?
know.
Yeah.
I know. It's becoming
My
the
butt has
veteran
a wart
gamers
on
health
it.
Well, we are
Yeah.
veterans. Let's be honest.
I know. Yeah.
Well, we're veterans of the gaming lifestyle. In case anyone's new to the show, we are not military veterans.
We should just put like ill gamers
Ill gamers. I think
because
that's what we
like
should put.
ill has like we're like ill, but also we're
Yeah.
actually like really ill all the time.
Ill.
Yes.
So yeah, but I've been sneezing for the last 3 days, and I know that sounds like nothing compared to you, Stu, but my God,
No.
just my allergies have just been absolute. And everybody goes, "It's not even summer. What's the matter with you?" I'm like, "Please stop talking
Yeah.
because I hate you." I don't know
Well,
what it is.
and
My
it
whole
doesn't
weekend has
help
me
at
just been
all
going.
to have some-
It's horrible, absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible.
Yeah.
Being ill is horrible. Although it's fair, I don't feel ill anymore, at least, because I'll be honest with you. The day I went in hospital, I felt so ill.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever felt that ill.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But there
So,
you go. Feeling better.
by the pattern, Matt Weston in the chat says "Sick Yo Gamers."
Sick Yo Gamers. That we should maybe change the name of the show.
Maybe we should. Fraser's in the
Yo
chat. Susan's in the chat. Darren's in the chat.
Thank you to
Ian,
Susan, by the way, filling in last
Soul
week.
Brother.
I did listen to a bit
Yeah.
of it. I listened while I was in hospital. So, but then I got tired, so I went to sleep.
That's
So-
probably
Well,
it.
I listened to
I
your
listened to
French mix.
quite a few.
Stu, just
Oh,
FYI.
how did
While
you
we're
like
on the
it?
topic of mixing things, it was good. I enjoyed many parts of it. There were some parts that were like it felt like you had to slow the track way down because there were tracks that were of differing BPMs.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
you
I did
found,
slow.
like,
I did
medium
slow
there.
and speed. Well, I started off slower and speeded up as it went along. Really.
Right. So anyway, it just felt some of them were a little odd because I could tell that the original BPMs was a little higher.
No, all the BPMs were correct.
Well, then you chose some weird ass slow songs. And
Yeah,
just-
all the BPMs were correct, but I started with
But
slow BPMs and
I
speeded
did
up
like
as it
them.
sort
There were a
went
couple
along.
of tracks I was like, I wonder what song that is, and I'm like, I could try to figure it out, but I'm not.
You
going
could Shazam it.
Yeah, I don't have
There's
time
always
for that
Shazam.
website.
But
That's
yeah, a
too
lot of them.
complicated.
It's amazing how many French artists are out there, and some of them are singy. You know, some vocally type.
Yeah,
stuff,
and some of them have that discordant thing that I'm just like, and it's not. That's just me. Like, not everybody feels that way. But the same is
Yeah.
with lo-fi hip hop or the trip hop beats. If y'all
Yeah.
find those lo-fi beats for relaxing and studying, every 20th song it'll just be like. I'm like, nah, stop! I
Yeah.
can't stand that. Get
By
a
the way,
normal-
I did throw in one Daft Punk tune towards the end, so there is a
Yeah.
Daft Punk in there. So I
Wait, it
did
wasn't
do,
until the end. I thought there was an earlier one too.
No, there's a. You see, they all
huh.
sound a bit Daft Punky because they're
Okay.
all.
Well, that's the
French,
thing. They
I guess.
changed the sound of French dance music, didn't
Yeah, for sort of disco-y beats and stuff.
they? Music. That's my favorite
Yeah.
Daft Punk song ever.
Yeah, God, I love that album.
All right.
I did
Yeah,
pick a
welcome to the
track off
Daft
home.
Punk podcast.
So, yeah. Well, thank you. Glad you enjoyed it.
I had a salad before the show. That's my story time. Chinny?
That's your story time.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
No.
Okay.
Where are you going? Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
Guess we're ready to talk about games.
It's about playing.
just for the record, to wrap up Stu's story time, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're feeling
thank you.
better. And we hope we get
Yeah.
some good news soon about what next steps
I
are.
hope so.
Yeah.
Hope so.
All right. So who's going to start this week?
I'm going to
you
start. Fuck it. I went here last week.
You
I'm
do
gonna
it.
start.
Right.
I took my Steam
ahead.
Deck to the hospital with me.
You
because
do
I
it,
needed-
you big attention seeker.
I know, I needed shit to do while I were in there. So yeah, I finished Dark Pictures anthology House of Ashes.
House of Ashes.
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
The sacrifice.
And for those who don't remember, this is what kind of game?
It's this kind of make your own adventure game, you know, it's Body Until
Yeah.
Dawn developers, all that kind of stuff. So not a lot of game mechanics, I suppose is the best way to describe it. All quick time events. By the way, I've got good at quick time events because I used to be terrible at them. But playing all these bloody Dark Pictures anthology games, I've kind of seemed to have got better and better at them. You know, I'm sort of not dying and stuff, which is always good.
It's a good thing to not die, yes.
And it's just choosing dialogue and making decisions about what someone's going to do, I guess is the best way to describe this. But out of the three games, this is by far and away the best, most coherent one they've made.
Yeah.
What about, why is this the best one?
It's just good. I just like the story.
Give
I
me
like
more
the
than that,
setting.
Stu. I know you've
So
been ill,
basically-
but
Good.
fucking
So
hell.
basically,
good.
It's set in Iraq, in the Iraqi war. They're searching for weapons of mass destruction. They get this tip off that there's some at this village somewhere, so they go to investigate. Turns out there's not weapons of mass destruction, but there is some dodgy shit going down. So that's kind of the premise to the story, and you end up in the middle of it all. There's 5 main characters in the game. Ashley Tisdale is one of these, who's out of High School Musical fame.
Really?
And she's really good in it. I was really impressed. Really, really impressed. The voice acting is great. The story was really cool. And weirdly, right, for these games, the aim of the game is to not let anybody die. You know, try and get to the end of the game and everyone survives. 2 people died, but it felt right.
Huh.
Do you know what I mean? I got
Not
to the
for
end of the
them.
game. No, obviously not for them. But got to the end of the game and was like, that felt like the right story to tell. That's how it should have gone down.
You had some acceptable losses.
Yeah, and I just felt that went out in such a cool way that it almost felt natural. It didn't feel like I'd screwed it up, for want of a better phrase.
Right.
And I like that. I like that I got to the end. I liked who survived. The 2 that died, I didn't particularly like very much either, so that helped. I wasn't madly keen on the characters.
I'm okay with these dying because those people suck.
Yeah, I don't really like them. They're not very nice people.
Interesting.
And it just made sense. The ones that died just made sense. So yeah, 3 survived, and I just thought the story was great. Even the ending, everything about it, it's just so well done. You know, compared to the other 2 games in this series so far, I just think they've listened to all the, you know, the criticisms of the previous 2 games and just got this one right. You know what I mean? And I think it's testament to the developers to keep on going at this and actually make one of the better games. This is close to Until Dawn standard, I would have said in storytelling. I feel like this is better than The Quarry. You know, I enjoyed this way more than The Quarry. Although I did enjoy that as well. I just thought this was just
It's the
more
same people,
coherent.
isn't it, Stu? That made,
Yeah. I just felt like this was more coherent and it's just a good story. It would make a good movie. It was fine. I really liked it. And I mean, I paid like 10 quid. So it was a bit of a bargain. It wasn't an expensive game to buy. And I think it's worth every penny. Darren Sim thought it was terrible. Jesus. It's a bit rough. I thought it was really good. I think you'll have to elaborate. What didn't you like about it?
But not right now. Just
not
at
right
some
now,
point.
but,
Yeah, do it now.
Send a speak pipe, Darren.
Do it
Send a
now.
speak pipe and tell us what you thought. You can send a speak pipe now. We won't get to it for like an hour at
Oh, it was
least.
really good. I really liked it. Anyway,
yeah,
courses for courses.
Fight.
If we all have the same opinion, we'd be a bit of a boring world, I guess.
If ifs and buts were horses and nuts,
Exactly.
we'd all have a bowl of cherries or something. I don't know.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's
you
my
it sounds like
opinion.
you're
I
like
was
totally. Are they getting better each time? You think, Stu? This company?
Definitely. I think this is the best out of the 3 by a long way. I thought Little Hope wasn't great, and the first one, Man and Medan, was, I don't know, it just felt a bit disjointed. But like I say, I feel like this was the most coherent, and the action sequences were really good.
Yeah.
Dragged on, really? Wow, I didn't feel that at all. It's only 5 hours long. Don't know. I don't know what to say, Darren.
Maybe it doesn't
we'll have
drag
to-
on when you're lying in a hospital bed.
Maybe not. We'll have to agree to disagree.
Nope, that's not how we do things here.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Right, I will pass the baton over.
And now I'd like to pass the baton. To who, Chinny?
Whoever like.
Duke,
whoever
you got
wants to
got
go.
more than me. You go.
I will go next. So I've been playing Rocket League, but there's nothing new to say about that other than I'm crushing it. I got back to platinum in the 3s, woohoo! And I did something in Guild Wars 2 that I have not done before. Where is? Oh, here we go. I bought the DLCs for Guild Wars 2. Now, there's not much to say about this, so don't bother putting up visuals, Chinny. But FYI, people, in Guild Wars 2 is now a free-to-play game. Well, I bought it when it was not free-to-play, so I should have gotten one of the DLCs for free. But I'm not salty about it. The point is, they give you this little. Okay, so they just came out with a new DLC called End of Dragons, and for some reason there was one of the DLCs, Path of Thorns or whatever it is. They introduced mounts. And so you move more quickly when you're riding a mount. And it's not just horses. They got like, the one they give you for free is a raptor. It's basically a dinosaur you can ride around. But they got some other mounts too. There's like a manta ray, and there's this ball you can roll around on. And there's this bunny that'll jump crazy distances. Anyway, so they give you this mount for free when you play the free-to-play game for like an hour. So you get it just long enough to like get used to it, and it's like, man, it's so much easier to get around with this thing. And then it went away, and I was like, I really want that mount again. So I bought the DLC just for the mount, basically, which is pretty ridiculous, I know, but
You are ridiculous.
what am I gonna say? I'll
no
wait to
idea.
let Chinny talk about one of the ones that we all played before we get to
Yeah,
that. Need for Speed Heat is a game that EA made, and they published it, and it had a free weekend this weekend because they had some sale. And I was like, it's been a minute since I played a Need for Speed game. I'm curious to see where the franchise is these days. For the record, I should state, I was a huge fan of Need for Speed Carbon. That was the best Need for Speed game ever. The first one I ever played was Most Wanted, which was a pretty good game. Now, for those who remember those games back in the day, they were arcadey. It was an arcadey driving game. And so I kind of thought this would be an arcadey driving game too. No, it is not an arcadey driving game. Need for Speed Heat. First of all, they take themselves way too seriously. There's this whole story about, you go to visit the dude in his garage, and it's this big fancy garage, and it's like all these trophies everywhere, and then like you pick a character. So like you have these options of like 10, 15 characters, and I picked the one who looked coolest, but she was wearing this stupid hat. And I'm like, hurry up and show me how to buy a new hat, because her hat's idiotic. But anyway, and then the dude's and then your character's like, nice shop. And he's like, yeah, my grandfather built it. And I'm like, let me guess, he built it with his own hands, and then he got taken down by someone, and you got to get revenge for him. Ugh. And then it was like, the cops are corrupt in this town. I'm like, what did I tell you? I'll bet it was that cop who took out his grandfather or something. And he has all these trophies everywhere. It's like, oh, he was really good at driving. I'm like, okay, whatever. So anyway, I played this game for about an hour, and the mechanics are terrible. It's just, I was drifting all over the road, crashing into stuff. And I've been playing Forza 4. The Forza Horizon.
All right.
So like,
okay.
It's not that I'm not good at driving games. I mean, I'm not, but that's not the problem here. The problem here is that the controls suck. And I didn't have fun with it. It was messy. And I didn't want to sit through the story and have wretched driving mechanics at the same time. So I was like, I am done with this game, baby. It's just not my thing.
Do you think it would have been?
Say, this game. I'm done.
Do you think it would have improved with better cars or something? With a better car? Better handling?
Well, better car mechanics.
Yeah, but is it not because you get like a shit car at the beginning, and as you play
that's
the game,
possible, I guess.
you get a
but
better car with better
maybe,
better handling.
I'm not trying to look. I'm not trying to sit around and wait all day to get a decent car, so I'm not drifting all over the road. And the problem too is that I don't play racing games the way you're supposed to when you have a more realistic game. Like you're supposed to ease on the brakes when you go into a turn, and then ease into the accelerator.
Slow down
and you come
on
at,
corners.
Fuck
like in
that
real
shit!
life.
I'm going as fast as I can, crashing into people. Turn left, hand brake.
You can't
Meow.
you can't even do that in Forza Horizon.
You can a little bit.
Not really.
Not
You're
really,
supposed
but
to
a
slow
lot
down
more
for
than
the
this game.
corners.
Forza Horizon, in my experience, has been a lot more arcadey than this Need for Speed Heat. So, look, I did not play it with an eye toward like the details of the driving, or like I wasn't being very patient. So, I mean, granted, I didn't give it very much of a chance, but I was like,
That doesn't sound like you, Duke.
No, it
doesn't sound
at all.
like me. I'm usually so fair and
patient,
conscientious and patient.
Take your time.
Yeah. Right. So I was just like, whatever, man. You're taking your story way too seriously. These characters are idiots. You get threatened. One of the dudes gets threatened by the cops. He's about to get shot, and then this other cop comes and saves the day. And it is the thing we're looking on the screen. And then this woman who's in charge of the gang, I guess, is like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I'm done, man. You can go. I'm going back to Ventura." She's like, "Are you just gonna walk to Ventura? I'll give you a ride." He's like, "I'm not getting in any cars ever again." And like, what? This is so stupid. So it's just not a good game.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess. Fair enough.
I'll fight anybody who thinks it is.
Just to let you know, I have had a quick look on Metacritic regarding Dark Pictures Anthology House of Ashes, just see what they're saying.
All right, back on your game. Okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah, I'm just having a look.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
72 from the critics' reviews. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. GameSpot gave it.
So you're wrong, Darren. Objectively, it's a good game. Still can't let anything go. This is number one advice for you in terms of your heart.
So I'm giving
let
him a
it
second
go.
Opinion. I'm giving him a
I
second
think what he
opinion.
meant was.
Well,
I think what he meant was
like 500 opinions in one website.
I think what he meant was a second opinion, like me or Duke play it. Not you read a
score
bunch
is
of fucking
better.
reviews.
Can I just say, user score's better than critic score. That's 7.8 out of 10. Of 140 ratings. So I'm just saying. It's not just me who thinks it's good. I don't know.
Everybody's on his side, Darren.
Don't know what to say,
Suck an
Darren.
egg. Everyone likes the game, and you suck for not liking it, Darren.
Basically,
exactly, Darren.
Darren, you're wrong.
Darren, you're wrong.
We got the name of the show.
Your opinion.
We got the name of the show.
Wrong.
You're wrong, Darren.
You're wrong, Darren, and Satan's program.
Exactly. Anyway, Chinny, what have you played?
Anyway, Chinny, what have you been playing, buddy?
Chinny.
I played a game called Slime Rancher
yes,
2.
I would like to see what you thought. Sorry, go ahead.
I played a game called Slime Rancher 2 last week.
Oh, I saw that.
I actually downloaded this because I got Game Pass in order to play the game y'all are hucking me about. And we didn't talk about the thing I made you watch. We'll talk about it later.
I watched that. I watched it.
Slime Rancher 2.
Yeah.
It's a game where
tried Slime Rancher 1, you couldn't really get into
No.
it.
No. I never played Slime Rancher 1.
Hey, nothing to compare.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so you collect slime.
You got some slime ranching going on in your nasal
honestly,
cavity.
Jesus Christ.
Suck some slime up like up your nostrils.
That's what SLH said. Chinny and his mucus reminds me of Slimer from the
exactly.
Ghostbusters.
You collect slimes and you farm them basically, and then they shit out money pretty much. And the rarer the slime, the rarer the shit, the more money you get. Is the gist of it.
Yes.
I played this game for about 3-4 hours more after the show last week. And I was getting into it, and I was like doing stuff and farming things and like getting more rare shits.
The past tense here makes me think that he turned it off in disgust at one point.
And then I was just like, I'm bored.
You see, I hear what you're saying about the game, and
but you're wrong because here's the reviews.
Your opinion of this game.
No, it barely sounds like a game.
Well, I think it sounds like this.
What happened? Are you okay? He slimed me.
Ghostbusters classic.
I feel like
wait, it's taken down. Are we gonna have our show rated by the copyright police?
It's possible.
Yeah, who knows, my dude.
It's like, you know, is Minecraft a game?
Fair enough.
It's that kind of.
So the question then is, what's the object of Slime Rancher 2?
That's the object is to get more slimes, to get rarer slimes, to get more money,
slime,
to get
more money.
to get more money, to unlock areas, to get more slimes, to get more money, to get more shit, to get more money, to get unlock areas.
Wait a minute. It's Cookie Clicker.
Sort of.
Pretty much.
And like, you know, it is. It is kind of cool because there's these like random fat bastard slimes like around the map, and they were just sitting there because most of the slimes, they're like cute little slime blobs, and they're bouncing around, and they're like, doing fuck all, and when they get hungry, they have like sort of like blood around their mouths. I don't know what's going on. And at night, there's these like weird slimes.
Put the game on the screen, Chinny.
Oh, it's on my screen, so deal with that.
Deal with that shit.
It's
Just
Need for
deal,
Speed.
Duke.
The heat is so. Slime run.
Oh, there we go.
We're seeing it. Thank you.
Yeah. So and at night there's these like blobby slimes where they kill everyone, including you. They have a go at you, but they're not that powerful. You just run away. And yeah, there was these like big fat fuckers like just sitting there, and then I noticed that if I point the gun at them, they open their mouth, and I was like, oh, so like if I feed them, they'll do something.
So what do you feed them? Other slimes?
So no, there's like you can grow vegetables.
Oh,
You
for
can.
God's sake.
There's chickens dotted around, so you can feed them chickens. So yeah, you I think like and it was like this blob likes vegetables only. If you feed it a chicken, it'll just not go in his mouth. So then I fed it, and then it explodes, and then it unlocks like a thing. And then I found another one, and then it explodes, and then that unlocks a thing, and then it unlocked this like massive area with a volcano. I was like, okay, look, this is kind of cool. It's like kind of a bit of a mystery. You just sort of discover and find stuff. But then I was just sort of like the game loop of finding more slimes. I don't think the game's going to reveal any more than you want to find more slimes to get more shits, to get more money, to get more slime. Like it's just that, right?
Yeah.
And it's not bad. It's very well made. It's very good looking. It's pretty. It's colourful. It's very zen. Very sort of like, a young person could play this and it's fine. Really, really polished. Well done. I just didn't really find the loop of what we had to do and the reward that satisfying. So
Yeah, not like compelling enough to keep playing.
not for me. But like if I was like, if I was to give this to a child, like a 7-year-old or something, I imagine they would just keep going because children don't care about repetitiveness.
No, they latch onto that repetitive nature.
They
as
just
well,
they
don't
just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Whereas
And they
like,
just love exploring everything. That's why the Lego
Yeah.
games have all sorts of stuff hidden everywhere.
yeah, so like I think it's a good kid game, and not exclusive for kids. Like it's a good game if you don't want if you don't want to like kill people and shoot people in the head, and a lot of people killing you all the time. It's good. It's just not for me. So I've had to retire it, I'm afraid. So I'm gonna pass on Slime Rancher 2 and put it down because I don't know. I just didn't think it would be rewarding enough for me. So there you are, Slime Rancher 2.
There you are. Okay. So back to the studio.
Dude, would you be interested in Slime Rancher 2? It seems like something
I am interested. I downloaded it, and I just haven't played it yet. But I am curious. I wanted to play the first one, but that just left Game Pass.
Just left Game Pass, yeah.
So I'll try the second one, and obviously there's going to be some differences. But, this is, it's overwhelmingly positive on Steam. It is the type of game where, when recommendations come up of like, hey, I'm interested in a relaxing game, or I want something that's kind of chill, this is always the first thing and the most upvoted thing on Reddit that people recommend.
There's a pattern of like games that are chill, like Power Wash Simulator and Slime Rancher.
Absolutely.
There's like they've been so much more popular in the last 5 years, and
like there's no way to die in this game. Is that correct?
You can die, yeah. Even if you go in the water, you die, but like you come straight back. It's not like really a big deal.
So yeah, like that's the thing is that like low stakes, beautiful colors, designed probably certainly even more enjoyable when you're under the influence of tetrahydrocannabinol, Delta 9 or whatever. So yeah, like there is this trend of games that are meant to be very chill and relaxing even, which is not the usual thing that video games have been about traditionally.
No.
Strange as that may seem, because there's certainly lots of ways to make chill video games, but but then there's always the balance between it. We want it to be chill, but we also want there to be a challenge, some sort of point. And a lot of people, I think, do get bored with Minecraft because once you build a little building or 2 or 3 or a little town or something, it's like, okay, I've built something. Now what? So,
yeah.
I'll
Slime
play
Rancher
it.
2.
Maybe I'll have it played for next week. I don't know.
It's alright. Oh, what's happened to our videos?
Oh, the video. Yeah, you just see the top of my head. Hello.
Yeah. So, go on, Stu. You're up next.
Yeah,
Oh,
Stu,
Stu's
while
gone.
Chini fixes the video.
Stu's gone.
Oh, that's why everything's weird.
That's
Oh no, did he have to go to the
why.
bathroom or? Uh-oh.
Did he shit
I
himself?
hope he's not unwell. Maybe he did shit himself.
Okay. Well.
Well, we're gonna have to keep moving.
Yeah. Hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Let's text
While you
him.
sort out the visuals, should I text him?
You text him.
Okay. Should I try to keep talking, or just hit pause on the recording, or just make a note?
We'll
come
keep
back to this spot?
talking. Maybe, edit this
Okay.
out. So,
Yeah.
XLH in the chat says, Slime Rancher is the perfect game for me. Low stress, really cute. And the slimes. Singing when they're happy warms my heart. Well, they were never happy around me, Susan. They were tortured. And they were eating each other. It was hell in there for them, for me. Yeah, and they kept on escaping, so you got to build like a ceiling and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, we can't talk about that, I suppose.
No, but I can talk about the other game I've been playing.
Yeah, talk about Monster Train.
Okay, so Monster Train is another game that's on
Steam.
Game
no,
Pass.
Game Pass.
Oh, it is on Steam, but I have this month for $1 on Game Pass, which I'm surprised by because I've already done that once. So I'm just like, oh, his internet just went off. Stu's okay, but his internet just went off.
It's like it's you worry these days, don't you? When Stu goes
Well,
there, you're like,
exactly.
oh god.
He's been through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Monster Hunter is a game that Chinny's been wetting his pants about. It's amazing.
Monster Train. You said Monster Hunter.
Right, Monster Hunter Train. It's not related to the Monster Hunter series. The game
No.
is called Monster Train.
It's so good.
And Chinny has really fallen in love with this game.
I love it so
I
much.
figure, hey, I have access to it and 100 million other games now. So I might as well give it a try.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, it's a collectible card game, roguelike. The combat is pretty basic. If you've ever played Magic the Gathering, or what's the one on Blizzard, the free one? Yeah, the game. It's like that
Hearthstone.
one. Right, Hearthstone. So it's sort of similar in some ways to that, but even more simplified, I think. You have a bunch of cards in a deck, and then you draw a few, and then you can, you have these. You're in charge of monsters from hell on a train, and these angels from heaven are trying to get to the heart of your train or whatever at the top of your train, and so you have to keep fighting them by putting cards down that have monsters on them, and they attack the people who are from heaven. And I don't know. I mean, part of the reason it didn't click for me instantly the way it did for you, Chinny, is that it's not. I like having a character, and then I use that character to kill other characters. And that's not what's going on in this game. This game, you have these decks, and you have, some of the cards you play will put a character down on the screen, but the mechanics are a little odd. So if your character doesn't kill the angel, if your demon doesn't kill the angel, then the angel runs up to the next floor. And
Yeah.
your guy doesn't run up to the next floor. So you have to start putting other cards down on that floor to try to finish off the angel that you couldn't finish off before. And then this boss shows up who's got like 700 hit points. And I'm just like, I'm doing, my flame attack will do 1 damage. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to take him out with that. But I do have these monsters that, they're big balls of teeth and stuff. And so they were kind of hammering I did okay. I beat the first boss. So,
Yeah.
I'm not terrible at it. It's just that it's so confusing when you first start. And I'm like,
It is.
I beat the first boss. I don't really feel like I could explain how that happened. Other
Yes.
than I was just.
What I will
cards.
say about this game, Duke, it rewards replaying it.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Like
it does.
you start to
gonna-
see things on the UI that you go, that's what that means.
Right.
You know what I mean?
sure.
And
And
I see that now. Whereas I suppose I forget that, like, yeah, it is quite an intimidating game. I think I talked about this, like, it is quite intimidating, but just sort of
Yeah,
like
and
war of attrition, like, just sort of keep trying it,
Oh,
and like,
sure.
things will
Yeah, yeah,
click.
yeah. And the game is clearly designed to be throwing a whole lot of stuff at you the first time you play it. And then, yeah, like it's not too hard when you start by design so that you'll keep going. But, you know, you can die. You can have to do a new run. But then, yeah, you'll get a little more. It'll make more sense each time. That's the idea behind roguelikes, is that you'll learn how the game works as you play it, which is fine. But I'm not generally a fan of roguelikes.
Nor am I. Nor am I.
A fan of CCGs, the collectible card games.
Nor am I.
Nor are you. Right. So the reason this clicked for you, but it didn't click for me yet, I don't know.
I'd play it a bit more.
I am gonna probably play it a bit more because I'm not hating it. It's just I wasn't, you know, I played it for an hour and then I went away and then I played it for another half hour and I was like, all right, it's cute. Like I can see the appeal, I guess, but I wasn't eager to dive back in. You know what I mean? There's some games when you start them, like they're gonna hook you somehow. And this hasn't yet, but maybe it will. Minecraft didn't hook me right away either. So
no, that's true. Yeah, and like sometimes you get on a run. And because it's kind of random, sometimes the things that you get rewarded, your hero will do like 300 damage.
Yeah.
And you're like, why? Well, what did I do? Like I don't know. Because sometimes it's like, oh, if they've got whatever armor they have, you will do 10 times damage of whatever armor they have, or something like some mad stuff.
Sure.
So
I got one that was like, heal your character for X number of points, and then you'll do 10 times that damage to the enemy boss or whatever.
Yeah, for the next move. Yeah.
That
so
worked pretty well.
So like sometimes like little things will start to stack up, and if you sort of stack them in the right order, or by pure luck, sometimes you're just like, here we go.
Right. And that, I mean, I get that has to be something in the game, not right at the start, obviously, but eventually, in order for people to keep having fun with it, there have to be new things for them to be learning, because you don't want to just, you know, keep doing the same thing over and over again. But from my perspective, as somebody just starting the game and hoping for something I can just pick up and run with, and again, you kind of can, but there's just so much in the game, and I'm just like, I can tell that it's going to involve a lot of that stacking things and combining things and like.
Yeah, but you could also sort of just like click your way through it and be like, fuck it.
Yeah, I can. But then when I die, it's going to be like, okay, why did that happen? Because otherwise I'm just going to end up dying a lot, and that's just going to get more and more frustrating. So it becomes the thing of like, again, I'm not salty about the fact that there's a lot to learn in a game like this. I'm just saying, again, for the record, the reason I tend to play the same things over and over again is because I don't always want to learn all these new mechanics in a new game.
I always say, look, with video games, it's if you compared it to books, it's like every book you read, you have to learn how to read.
Right, exactly.
And that's the problem.
But a lot of games, to be fair, to people who think I'm being weird, and I am, you know, I played Magic. I've played Hearthstone. I've played roguelikes. I know how a lot of this stuff works. So it's not really new. There are some new elements involved. So it's not totally like having to learn how to read. It's just having to read different forms of English.
Yeah.
Because there are games that build off of the other games that came before it and tweak items and things like that. So,
yeah.
So, you know, fun, colorful, aesthetics are great. Sound is awesome. Very satisfying when you do win. It does that thing of like slowing down when you do the final blow. And that's really cool. And, you know, like I said, I'll keep trying. I'm curious to see. And here's the thing that everybody wants to know. I wrote this down especially. The first line of the game, when you start it up, it says, "Welcome to hell."
Yes.
So Stu, for the record, people, does not have internet at all. He just checked online. There's no internet in his area, so he may be having trouble getting back in anytime soon. But
oh dear.
Yeah. So the first line of the game is "Welcome to hell," and then it explains that you're on this train and yada yada yada. But hell has frozen over because of these angels or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting little wrinkle. And then I remembered, wait a minute, in Dante's Inferno, there are a couple of levels of hell that are frozen. And there are people stuck in these frozen lakes and stuff. And they're suffering just as much as people in the lake of fire. So it's not historically inaccurate to have hell frozen over. So in a way, people talk about like, yeah, when hell freezes over.
It's happening all the time.
It is. That's just part of hell, people. Read Dante.
Yeah.
I mean, or you could play Dante's Inferno, the video game, although I think that's probably not very accurate.
I think that's quite old.
Yeah.
That's like 2009.
So here's the question, Ginny. Since Stu is not able to join us anytime very soon, should we talk about the big game or should we wait until Stu gets back? Because he played it, presumably.
Well, what can we talk about if we're not talking about bloody that?
I guess we'll have to talk about bloody that.
Unless you've got any other video games.
I mean, I could talk more about Guild Wars 2, but I don't think anybody wants to hear that.
Ever? No. I suppose, have we got news?
I
Could
could
we get
maybe
a
find
news?
some. I don't have any yet, but you give me 3 minutes, I'll come up with some news.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we got the big news this week.
What's that?
Which I got messages about, which is
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
Stadia is dead.
Oh God, that's right.
Google Stadia is dead. I've got a controller here.
Uh-huh.
Here it is.
Well, it's funny because
That's
Polygon's
okay.
number one story says Stadia's death isn't the end of cloud gaming. And I didn't
Well,
know if they
no.
were just close to dying or actually dead.
Hello.
So did Google issue a statement about we're done?
Yeah.
shuttering
So
its
so
Stadia game stream?
the
Go
interesting
ahead.
thing they did was they're killing it,
Yes.
and they said if you've bought one, we will give you a refund for the hardware.
Really?
Because the hardware is pointless. But I'm not sure if it is pointless. So here's the.
Oh, Stu's
I'm back. I'm back.
Yay,
Jesus
he's back.
Christ.
I have no internet. Wait, yes I do. Psych.
Eventually, oh my God, there's issues in our area apparently.
Well, we're glad you're back because now we don't have to talk about
So
Stadia.
I might go again. This might
Well,
only
we
be
hope not.
temporary.
Well, we
were
were talking. We might as well just continue the train of conversation.
This
Go
is
on.
not the news, but we're putting news before
we
the last
didn't want to
of
talk
what we've
about
been playing.
Deathloop, so we started talking about a bit
No.
of news.
We
And I
wanted
was
to wait
talking
for you to
about
be here.
Stadia is dead.
Stadia is
Stu.
done.
Oh yeah, stay. Get your money back, man.
So
That's what I've heard.
and it says like, oh, you can get your money back on your controller, but this is like a standard USB controller, and also in the pack was like a Chromecast. So these things aren't useless. Do you know what I mean? They're like, I can still use them.
Yeah, but they're basically the same. Unless they release a firmware update, it won't be compatible as a normal controller with
Oh, will it
anything
not?
else. No.
Well, they should.
So it only works with Stadia. So they're hoping, prior to refunding loads of cash to people, that they might as well just update your controller.
They might as well.
Yeah, and then you can just use it.
Then I've
with
just got an
anything,
extra controller for fuck all.
firmware update.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But yeah, the Stadia is dead. Did we predict this? I fear.
But to predict it, I mean, like, the writing was on the
Didn't take
wall.
much to
We
predict
pretty
this.
much said it
Yeah.
from the day it was released,
Yeah,
due to the way that he structured the
Yeah.
business plan.
The
It was just
the reason why it died so quickly, or where it wasn't successful very quickly, was you've got to pay a monthly subscription and you've got to buy games. Those two
ridiculous.
things are bad. If you just have to buy games, or if you just have a subscription, that will work,
Yeah.
as we have proven with Game Pass and PlayStation, whatever shit they call it. So, oh well.
It's mad.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
What I could never understand, we said this from the moment they announced it, was why would that be your business plan? Why
Because
would
this
that
was
be
Google's
what you
first
think-
attempt to actually do video
Yeah,
gaming,
but
wasn't
they've
it?
seen what
They don't know what
everybody
But
else
also,
is
no one knows what they're
doing.
doing. It's like early
Hey, guys,
days.
don't know
if
what
they
they're doing,
had
they're
something
fucking
that nobody else
Google.
had, you can charge what you want, or so they thought.
Yeah, but you can't because it's reliant on
Well, obviously not.
Internet,
Yeah,
as
I
we've just
agree.
proven, doesn't work all the time.
Well, if you're living out in Blackpool, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Jeez.
I tried. You know what I tried this week, which I've
What
never.
did you try? What did you try? Tim?
Sweet corn. No, I didn't. I tried the XCloud stuff.
What's xCloud?
xCloud.
I've never even heard of this.
So
You mean
XCloud.
cloud gaming on Xbox Game Pass?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I use that all the time. That's all I use on my Steam Deck. That's it.
I know.
just used
But I
cloud
used it
gaming.
on my
That
phone.
works.
Yeah, I use it on the console. I never download anything.
No, but I'm
anymore.
talking about my phone.
Yeah, how did it go?
Pretty well.
You see, I used it on a laptop when I was away in an Airbnb, and it was terrible.
Yeah,
It
I
was,
imagine
like,
if I was in
refreshing
a
all the time.
Premiere Inn, it wouldn't be very good. But
No.
I was on the 5G on my phone. I was only in
Yeah.
my house, but I wasn't
Yeah.
using the Wi-Fi.
No.
And it was on 5G, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a go.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, and then it made me think I should get one of those backbone things.
Backbone thing.
Backbone.
Well, for your phone, you mean like a controller?
It's like a controller that, like, yeah,
Yeah, you stick on your phone.
yeah,
I see what you mean.
yeah.
What's quite interesting
Because they're
is
so popular. Backbones are so popular. I've just got on Amazon. Because a lot of these podcasts, they advertise them. They go, you should get a backbone.
You should get a backbone.
By the way, we're getting no money for advertising it.
It's not burglar.
They're currently unavailable on Amazon. That's how,
Interesting.
because they're a good,
Yeah.
solid little device, you know. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it. Backbone.
There you go. There you go. Backbone. That's another 50p into the coffers there. Ginny.
Fucking get in.
50p.
Fucking get in.
Fucking in. But it's a good idea. I mean, because ultimately you've got yourself a little
It's a Steam Deck.
basically. Yeah, that's what you got.
Now, see, I can get behind one of those,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm not interested in a Steam
Costs
Deck.
a lot less. Costs a lot less. Mind you, how much is one of these? Oh,
I
it's
don't know
unavailable.
because it doesn't say, because it's unavailable.
Yeah. But that's like, there's a dedicated console coming out made by, I can't remember who it's made by now. Is it Anchor or someone? Someone's making one that's literally just for streaming Xbox
Yeah,
games.
this is the way it's going, isn't it?
And it works. I mean, I exclusively play, obviously, on the Steam Deck streaming. I play on the console streaming now. I play Deathloop streaming.
Yeah.
I don't download anything, because what's the point? I've got a 500 gig hard drive in the Xbox Series S. What's the point? Just stream it. And it's weird because it streams perfectly. You wouldn't know the difference. All right? I can't tell any difference. But what's weird is it keeps coming up and going, would you like to install this game? I'm like, no, I'm fine. It's fine. If I want to install it, I'll do it. It's fine. Leave me alone. So it does keep coming up and asking you and going, do you want to install?
A backbone costs $99.
Okay. So in the UK, probably about
99 quid. Yeah.
99 quid. Just be said.
I've got I've just found in my coat pocket because I've started wearing my coat again.
What, 100 quid just hanging around in there?
No, $25. Right.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Wow.
I got $25 from when I went to New York. And I was like, I remember like having that in my pocket when I came back, and I was like, oh, I've got nothing to spend it on. I forgot. I'll convert it to pounds at some point. At the moment, Stu, I might fucking leave it because.
Man, just fucking leave it. It might be worth more than pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
More
Jeez.
than a quid. Way our fucking economy's going.
Bloody Liz. Bloody
Unless you earn over 150 grand a year.
Well,
then
bless
you
them though,
quid's in.
Stu. Bless them.
Quid's in.
Bless them though. They work hard.
They fucking do.
Because
Work hard.
I know this for a fact, Stu. The more money you earn, the harder you work. That's probably how it works.
You do. It's totally true.
Yeah.
It's totally true.
Yeah.
These bankers with their fat bonuses, I'll tell you. Fucking fat banker wankers.
Political Gamers, by the way, is our show now. Political Gamers.
Don't get me started about the government.
It will be later when we talk about what Duke told us to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will.
Shall we talk about
Deathloop? Shall we do
Deathloop?
Right, I'm going to ask you both a question, right, before we get into this shit, right?
Go ahead. Ask away.
Is it what you expected?
Yes.
Is it? It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Not for me at all.
I knew a bit about it.
What were you
before.
expecting, Stu?
I knew very little about it, right? I thought it was going to be get as far as you can, get killed, and then repeat. That is what I thought the type of game was. I thought it was a game
without any form of checkpoint, you mean?
Yeah, no form of checkpoint saving.
Oh,
It was like a bit of a roguelike.
Yeah.
You had
So
to
for those who
each
don't
time
know, this
learn
is
a
a
bit
Bethesda
more.
game. Yeah, this is a Bethesda game.
Well, it's
you
by-
play a dude named
It's
Colt.
by Arcane, to be fair, which made obviously bada.
Did they make
I never
Dishonored?
played that.
Yeah, Dishonored. Made Dishonored.
Okay.
Yeah, I know,
Well,
yeah.
that shows because this game is very similar to Dishonored in that, first of all, it's a stealth game, which
Again,
that's not my thing.
can I just
Yeah,
say
other people
trailers?
like it.
Trailers show it as a like all guns blazing, running.
Well,
shit.
as with
And it
every
is
stealth
not.
game, you
It
can
is
go all
not.
guns blazing, but there are going to be consequences.
Yeah,
The
there fucking
consequences are sirens start going off and 70,000 people appear from out of nowhere,
It
and
is
you
true.
die. So you've got to do it stealthy, and I hate people that don't come clean about that. If you want to make a stealth game, fine. Don't pretend like it's not a stealth
No,
game. So anyway,
the trailers made it look nothing like a stealth game.
yeah, well, I didn't know anything about that. But so it's, let's just get this out of the way, people. This was not for me. I tried for like 2 hours, and I was just like, ah!
Really?
It starts with, who am I? What's going on? Don't trust her. There's these words just hanging in midair, like, don't trust anybody. You have it on your arm, trust no one. Is this actually intriguing to anybody? Does anybody see this at this point and go, ooh, I wonder what's going on? Or do you just go, oh, God, not this again. It was cute when Memento came out, but that's been 20 years now, hasn't it?
Do you know what I quite liked about it, though? I'm going to be totally honest. Where he goes, why am I seeing fucking words in the air? Or something like that.
I mean, to be fair, that was cute. And that happens, that kind of self-meta humor is throughout it, and it's kind of nice. I mean, I chortled.
I thought the dialogue was great. I think he's really funny.
The dialogue is fine. The dialogue is fine. But the premise of like, I've been doing some drinking last night. Oh, God, stop. Why does every game have to start with, I got amnesia, now I'm in this weird place?
I didn't mind that, if I'm being honest. I don't like
I get sick of that
at all. I thought it was quite funny. And then,
mostly, the thing that bugged me was the fact that I had to sneak around, and I don't like sneaking around. So it's just me being a whiny little turd.
You see, I'm with you, Duke, normally. I have played quite a few stealth games, and let's be honest, Dishonored is fairly stealthy.
Dishonored is the gold standard of stealth games, and I actually kind of got into Dishonored once I learned how it worked. But this is for whatever reason, I couldn't get into this.
Yeah, but Dishonored gives you a lot more tools to be stealthy with.
Yeah, it does. That's
to an extent, I do think this does give you those tools. But
it doesn't give you the
blink in Dishonored right off the bat. You have blink right off the bat.
You don't have blink.
This game's got nothing like it.
But what I think I've found is as you revisit areas you've already been to, you find better routes to get to stuff.
Yes, you do. And this is what we were talking about with Monster Train.
So many different routes.
Right. The idea is you're going to learn as you go through the loop how to do things better each time. But I don't want to go and learn it better each time.
That nail gun is just awesome. Can I just say, Duke, and this might make your life easier. I was quite, although I haven't altered
I haven't installed it. There's no making my life easier with this game. Okay. I made my life a lot easier.
I like the way they handle difficulty in this game. Because,
what do you mean?
Well, if you go into the settings, it doesn't tell you any of this at the beginning. You've got to go in and have a look.
I thought you get to choose what your difficulty level is.
No,
or is that
it
a different game?
It doesn't allow you to.
Never mind.
But when you go in, it's initially set at dynamic difficulty. So the better you do, the harder it makes it. The worse you do, it makes it a bit easier on you. So that's kind of how it works. But you can set it to ultra easy, so you can do that. But you can also adapt. You can do one-shot kills. So you don't have to shoot enemies multiple times to kill them.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, I probably should have done that because, like, I don't know. Yeah.
If you want to make it a little easier and a bit more fun, you can.
I have to go back and install it again, and I just don't know.
You can also alter. You can have like a lock-on, like in GTA with the gun, so you don't have to be free aiming everything.
I mean, the other thing is, if I were to do this, what would be the thing driving me? It would be the story. And I got to be honest, I don't give a fart about the story.
All I've put on is the auto lock-on. So everything else I've left out is I've left it as dynamic difficulty because you get more rewards as well. So the harder you make it, the more rewards you get for leveling up and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm a fan. I must admit, it wasn't what I was expecting, but I am actually really enjoying it. I really like the game. I like the way it plays. I'm on day 2 now, halfway through day 2, so I'm on my way to. So because on day 2, you can go to the lab and then you get something they've invented that allows you to retain all the weapons you've got on the day before.
I think I might have ended up with that. Yeah, is that where is the lab where you
so you
start the little video that this film strip or whatever?
Yes. So you go back there.
I did that.
Yeah, but you go back again after that.
Oh, you go back again. I got you.
Yeah. And then you get a special thing that allows you to keep your weapons. So when you start day 2, it strips you of everything again. So you have to start afresh.
Gotcha.
Which isn't terrible because a nail gun for me is the best weapon.
It is a great weapon, yes.
I never got the nail gun.
The nail gun's cool because it's silent, so you take someone out, and everyone's just like, huh? Where the heck come from?
And headshots, if you do a headshot, it's an instant kill.
Right.
So it works really, really well. But you get
And nobody
that
knows
in-
where you fired from, so that's very
Yeah,
nice.
you get that in the first level, Chinny. When you go to his apartment, it's on
Well,
the
maybe
table.
he didn't look around enough.
Oh, I
Maybe he
got. That's
didn't.
where I got to. No. Oh no,
You must
I
have
went
got the
way
nail.
past that.
I don't think the nail. Well, maybe you just didn't
You
look
just
in that
missed
spot.
it. It's on the table as you walk in.
Oh right, yeah, I missed
You
it.
can't really
Not
miss
being
it, but you
curious.
obviously
Well, I
did.
Apparently
did.
you can.
Yeah, the nail gun's one
You
of the
can't
best
miss it unless you're an
weapons.
idiot.
Especially because you're stealthing around all the time.
Yeah, I know. I went into my apartment.
I do love the fact that I was like making noise as I was running into the apartment, and then like people were like, "Oh, what the?" And then like as soon as I got in, obviously it's kind of like a cutscene, so they just ignored me. Like suddenly everything just went away.
Yes, the first time I went, that happened, and when
That was
obviously when she first invades your level to try and kill you, obviously the main woman.
Well, I only had that when I first spawned the game.
Well, no, she does it when you go back to the apartment at night. So you
Oh,
go back
so I
there
haven't
again
done
at
that.
night time to the safe, don't you? To
No,
collect
you've
some-
played way more than this than I have.
Yeah, you've played more than me.
I'm three. I've been back to my apartment 3 times now.
Okay.
So
I
you go at
only
night
just
and
got
there's no
to
fireworks going off.
that lab where they play that presentation.
Yeah.
All right, I'm miles ahead of you two.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
but it just gets better, you know, as you saw, because obviously each day is split into 4 sections. So you obviously
Yeah.
get morning, sort of noon, afternoon, and nighttime. And once you've done a full loop, it just starts again at the beginning. It goes back to the previous day, so you start at the beginning again.
Oh, yeah.
But
I
everything
probably
you've
shouldn't
learned,
say this. Go ahead. Sorry, Stu. Go ahead.
I was going to say everything you've learned, you obviously have all that knowledge. So what happens is when you go back to the apartment to get the thing you need the first time around, she's already beat you to it. But obviously on the second day, you
Yeah.
know that it's there, so you get there before
Right.
she does.
Right.
So it's I think it's great. I'm well blown away with it. It's
But that's
way
nothing to
better
do with your actions as a player, is it?
no, that's just
Her,
how
you
the
beating
game's.
her there. That's just the storytelling.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
just a
fine.
story, and that's like this.
Here's
is
what I'm
the-
gonna do.
You know this is
since-
there.
Since I don't really care that much about this game, sorry. I'm glad you like it. I want to hear what Cheney has to say. I'm curious to know like what's going on. So what I'm gonna do is live on the show. I'm just gonna read the Wikipedia article
Yeah,
about
well,
it.
don't tell me.
Fine,
because
I'm
I'll
not gonna
I
say
don't
anything
wanna
about
know.
it, but you'll know whether I'm approving of the story, despite what I
okay.
think it probably is, or whether I think it's as
No, you
stupid as
probably
I
don't.
expect.
Because I've
All
just
right, so
found
let's
out
find out.
something
Go
that I
ahead.
wasn't
Meanwhile,
expecting.
Chinny, what do you think?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. I actually quite like the characters. Like I thought they were quite funny.
He is funny. He's very funny.
Colt, who you play as, I thought he was quite like a funny guy. It
And
doesn't
it's
really
kinda cool how retro it is.
it doesn't really bother me that like he had amnesia. I don't know. I just feel like that's sort of some sort of trope that as a gamer you sort of live with, you know, like so it doesn't really bother me that he wakes up and goes, huh? Well, I don't remember a thing.
What I like is it just reminds me of Shaft because he's just like it's like he wakes up, he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" You
Yeah.
know, it's like, he's more like dismissive of it, like, "What the fuck is happening?" Not like,
He's,
"Oh my God,
I
can't
think
remember."
I think he's got some good dialogue. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
I think he's a
hilarious.
funny guy. It's intriguing as well. I'm not sure what's really going on at the moment. Oh, I see the nail gun now, but I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, it's literally on the table there.
Yeah, I didn't pick that
It's
up.
weird. It is hard to miss, but it is there. It's
I
so
don't
good.
know. I wasn't.
Fucking
I'll tell you
stupid as
what,
shit.
it's a game changer, Genie. Once you get all of that thing and you're just popping people in the head.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and get it.
If you can be good
Yeah.
at aiming, and I am not.
Uh,
I guess if you
whether-
have it set up so that it automatically
Well, that's where the auto lock on comes into play.
auto lock on,
dude.
yeah, I'll bet it's a game changer.
well,
a
like
game
when you
changer,
go in the
man.
apartment, they like everybody knows where you are on the map, don't they? Like, and
Yeah.
then I killed everybody. I didn't die doing that.
Yeah, I just jumped out the window. at the
Yeah.
front.
No, I think it's all right. You know, I didn't really like their last game, Prey. Like I played a bit of that and I never finished it, and I didn't like it. I like the aesthetic. I like the setting. I
I like
like
the 70s vibe.
I like
I'm
the
fine with
70s
that.
vibe. I like the main character. I think he's cool. I think he's funny. It's a little different to your average first-person shooter. It's a little different to your average stealth game.
Yeah.
I think it's got potential. I'm definitely going to carry on with it. I didn't play it for very long, but I liked it, and it was.
I am in, Ginny.
Yeah, I think I'm in as well. I enjoyed it. Yeah, and it was really
Yeah.
polished. Really felt really good. Yeah, I just thought it was good. I only played it for about an hour and a half, so I didn't play it for very long. But I thought it was all right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I'm a fan.
So it's got
You
2
know,
out of 3.
That might change as it gets more difficult as I go along, but who
Yeah.
knows? I can alter the difficulty then at that point.
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
like, yeah,
Who knows?
this is getting hard. But yeah, no, I really like it, and I think it's good. It's better than I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I should have picked up that bloody gun.
You should have picked up that gun for sure. It's not powerful, so it's shit if you're hitting people in the body. But if you pop him in the head, it's a one-shot kill.
Yeah.
And it's silent. So if you're taking them out when no one's around, like when I went to the complex, I had that, and I literally everyone who was around the entranceway, I just took them all out one by one with it, like all headshots, and they just all disappeared. It's great.
Well, I'm guessing I go back to that apartment, so it'll be there, won't it? Sure.
Yeah. You go back multiple times.
Yeah.
And obviously it's there every time you go back again.
Nice.
But I'm hoping once I've finished the mission I'm on currently, I will have it for good, because obviously you keep what you've got till the following loop.
Yeah.
So it's not too punishing. Do you know what I mean? It
No.
doesn't. It's that's only the third thing or fourth, maybe fourth mission, I guess.
Yeah.
Fourth or fifth mission, and it's allowing you then to keep your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which will make a big difference. You're not then running around to each of these districts trying to pick up stuff again. And it's also cool because it's all about gathering knowledge on the bosses in each level. These God, what's the name for them? I can't remember what they're called. Visionaries. So each level has its own visionary, and you've got to take them out, and then you get the slab, which obviously gives you more special powers and stuff.
Yeah. I haven't got that far yet.
That was the other thing. Like, there's slabs, there's trinkets, there's a reprise.
The trinkets aren't too bad. They're just what you dangle on your gun. They're just like level your gun up, and slabs level up your powers. I don't think it's too difficult.
Felt like more stuff.
It's a pattern of
again,
like Duke just refuses to learn new things.
He does.
I really do. I want the same stuff I've been doing.
Yeah.
Which is why Far Cry's the best, because it's just the same fucking game over and over again.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It is true. Yeah, he doesn't want none of those extra mechanics to worry about.
Yeah.
No,
anyway, I'll keep playing it, Stu.
Yeah,
I'll play a bit
definitely
more.
I am too. So, I've got a lot of time on my hands, so
yeah,
I'll be playing lots.
I'm guessing you're not back at work.
I'm signed off for 4 weeks.
Oh, my
So
God.
4 weeks I'm signed off for.
Well, that's you say, Stu. It's not all bad.
Well, I guess could be longer at this rate. Who knows? Who knows?
Forever.
Yeah, don't say that, but it's a possibility, I guess.
Jeez. Think
With
of all
what
the
I've
terrible
got.
games you'll be talking about.
I know, exactly, because I'll have to fill my time doing something.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything energetic, so what the fuck?
Yeah,
I never
man.
go roller skating again. What's all that about?
Yeah.
It's weird.
You could still play snooker.
I can play snooker. That's a fairly
We could go for a game of
sedentary,
snooker.
Sedentary game, isn't it, I guess?
Yeah.
You know, don't have to do too much exertion walking around the snooker. Maybe
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, definitely 2 out of 3. We'll keep playing
2
it.
out of
Duke's
3,
done. Fair
and
enough.
so far, my review noises.
Yeah.
And my review noise is.
Yeah, I guess.
And having just read the article, I'm glad I quit when I did.
Oh, Duke. What are you
Sorry.
like?
Oh,
what are
Duke.
you like? Honestly.
Well, hey, maybe you'll like it. You know, to each their own. I'm not going to judge other people for liking something that I think is stupid.
No, you just don't like. Anyway, Duke, have you got anything else to talk about?
I have talked about all my stuff. Unless you
Well,
want
I
to hear me talk about
suppose-
Guild Wars 2 some more.
No. So I suppose I should get on to Return to Monkey Island.
Okay, if I can't talk about Guild Wars 2, you can't talk about Funky Monkey Island.
Why? It's only just come out. It's a brand new game.
Brand new
It's only
game.
just come out.
It
Yeah.
has.
It has.
This is a new game.
Yes.
Brand new Monkey Island.
This
game.
is
Yeah, it
made
came out
by
last
the
week.
original makers. It's a sequel to Monkey Island 2.
Fine. Okay, fine.
It's a brand new game.
Sorry. I
Holy
thought it was
cow.
a remake.
No, it's a whole brand new
Okay,
adventure for
fine.
Guybrush
Sorry,
Threepwood.
Sorry, my bad. Mea
Yeah, you're
culpa.
bad. You
Mea
know,
maxima
dude.
culpa. How can I atone?
You take so little notice, right?
I take what?
You take so little notice
I
of
was
stuff
pretending I didn't notice.
that I we got tweets off the man.
What man?
The man.
Rob Gilbert.
Ron Gilbert tweeted us.
Okay. About
And we
what?
got
Who's
He made Monkey Island.
Oh
He's
my
very
God.
famous.
Okay.
He's a very
How the
famous
fuck am I
man.
supposed to know he's?
He has
You're
150,000
like getting mad that I don't know this guy who made Monkey Island.
But you know who Neil Druckmann is. Like, you know who
Well, I
gave
know
him.
because he tweeted it. I didn't know when he tweeted at me that
I bet
he
you know
was.
who the fucking maker of Bloody Mist is, don't you?
Yeah, because I interviewed him.
Exactly. Well, this
Anyway, let's
go
everybody
on, go on.
listen.
He tweeted at us. And
Let's
what?
calm down because Stu's got a heart condition, so he can't raise it, right?
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, don't make me worse, man.
Let's just establish
He
this.
tweeted,
There's,
and what
there's
does that do with me? Why are you
no,
mad at me 'cause he tweeted
stop.
it?
Right. There's a Monkey Island 1, there's a Monkey Island 2.
Yeah,
That was
Monkey
made by
Island 2,
two very clever people.
Was,
And then
that's
all the other Monkey Islands were made by other people. The clever people are back, and this is sort of like an actual sequel to the second one.
It
It's
is.
come out. Everybody
It's
hates
a
the art
man.
style, but everybody loves the game. Stu, what do you think?
Okay.
So anyway, thing is, right? So whilst I was in hospital playing the game, you would have been proud of me, Duke.
Oh yeah, why is that?
You would have been proud of me because in the game, in one of the sections, you look at the diary of. I can't remember what his name is now. I've gone completely blank.
Three Good Bry Bush, isn't it?
No, you look at the diary of. Oh God, what's he called? The baddie in it, the pirate. I don't know what his name is now. Maybe I have got dementia already.
No.
But yeah, you basically look at the diary. God, what's he called?
LeChuck.
LeChuck. God Lord, I don't know what happened there. That was a brain fart.
Yeah.
But you look at the diary of LeChuck.
The veteran gamers, where we
I know, where I forget really relevant stuff.
No, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so you look at the diary of LeChuck, okay? And in one of the entries, he says, truth is, I could care less about him.
Yes.
So I tweeted at Terrible Toy Box, who made the game, for the love of God, it's couldn't care less. Loving the game, by the way. Well, this got quite a bit of attention. It's had 17,000
Okay, to be fair, we had
views.
65 likes and like 4 responses. So
No, it's had
blew
17.
up
No,
by
it's had
our
17,000 views in total, and there were lots of replies to replies and stuff.
Okay, well.
So it got quite a lot of replies.
Okay.
Yeah, loads of them, basically. So Ron replied to us, not in America. Well, he got 18 replies to that on his own regarding it, and people were like, brilliant, just watched it. It's what I exactly said a minute ago. So lots of people were agreeing with me. Some people were agreeing with him. Some people were even justifying it, saying, no, it was a joke in the game. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
No, it's clearly a typo.
It's an Americanism that he used. It was just
this is
an
the thing.
Americanism.
This is the thing. And I've been guilty of this too. So I'm not trying to cast aspersions on other people. But here's the thing. Look, social media is a video game. And how you win is when you get noticed by a lot of people, right?
Correct.
The easiest way to get noticed by a lot of people is to ride the coattails of someone famous. This is why everybody's on Elon Musk's jock all the time.
To
You think
be
people
fair,
actually like
right?
Elon Musk? No. The reason people ride his jock is because it's a way for them to get some attention on themselves. And so when people are like, well, maybe this is why, blah, 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 they probably know it's just a typo, but they're just trying to get some attention.
And that's why Stu and I get bombarded when we go to EGX.
To be fair, Duke, right? That is not the reason I did it. I did it just because it.
No, I'm not saying you.
bugs me. It just
Yeah, of
bugs
course.
me.
You're right to
I don't
do
say
this.
I didn't.
Now,
I
you
didn't-
should put quotes around the thing you're criticizing, but whatever.
I didn't directly criticize him. You know what I mean? It was
Sure.
just.
I'm just talking about the
tweeted
people who
company.
responded trying to justify it.
But
get a fucking life, people. Come on.
But he responded twice, right? So he responded with "not in America," right? And then, which was quite funny actually. I did find this quite amusing. He responded a bit later on and put, "Emergency patch incoming. 2 choices. I could care less, right?" And he put an X in a little box next to it, and then couldn't care less, but no option to tick it or anything.
Nice.
So I was like, that's pretty good. I like that. So he was kind of funny. I didn't really respond again, to be fair. I just
He
let it do
responds
its
to a lot of
thing.
people, man. He's really active on
I just
Twitter.
let him do his thing. But it was pretty good. I was quite impressed that he'd actually taken the time to even respond.
Well,
So
that's
there
the
you
thing,
go.
man. Sometimes when you tag people, you'll get responses.
Yeah.
My favorite person to tag on Twitter is a DJ named Configa because he'll respond to everything, man. I'll put like, this is a really good song. He's like, oh, thanks, brother. Retweets me. High five, high five, high five. I'm like, you are so
That's
positive
funny.
and friendly. I love it.
So anyway, so that aside, I love the
Yes.
game. It's good. I mean,
Is it as
Act
good as the original,
4,
like back in the day?
it's not far off. It's not, I like it
Wow.
way better
That's
than
high
the second
praise.
Monkey Island game,
Uh-huh.
and it's not quite as difficult. They've done the more like the universal hint system.
Yeah.
But if you get stuck, it'll just go, what do you want to know? And you sort of what do you want to know about? And you click this. Then they'll give you a little hint that might be something you've already worked out. And it's like, do you want to know more?
Right.
So you'll go, oh yeah, I'll have a little bit more, and then it'll give you another hint, a bit more specific maybe. But
Yeah.
until you've done probably, I have no idea because I have only ever used it twice since I've been playing, where I got a bit stuck. But other than that, it's been fairly intuitive, where I'm like, I know what I need to do with it. And sometimes I've had what I needed and just didn't realize, to solve a puzzle.
Well, that's good.
But the dialogue's just as funny as it's ever been. I really like the art style. Loads of people were giving it loads of grief before it released because of the art style, but I kind of like it. And the story's set around Guybrush telling his son how he eventually found the secrets of Monkey Island.
Ah.
So that's kind of the story to it, and it's just funny. It's as funny as it's ever been. I have like laughed out loud on a few occasions, just playing the game.
Yeah.
So totally recommend it. I think it's 20 quid, so it's not like full price game. And it's great.
Cool.
So it works perfectly on Steam Deck, no problems at all. So this is the game I played the most whilst in hospital. Yeah. So I'm probably about 6-7 hours into it, I guess. I'm way into it.
Yeah.
So I'm a long way in. But yeah, I totally recommend it. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's as good as always. And they've really there's no more pointing somewhere to walk anymore. They've fixed all that stuff. You just free walk around wherever you want within the levels.
One of the best things about having a new version of a game like this is that it's easier to control.
Yeah, the interface
relics
is
of its time.
Yeah, slick. It's slick. The only thing I have missed a little bit, there's the couple of times I've had a sword fight. One of my favorite things in the original Monkey Island was the sword fights where you had to give insults, basically better insults than the other person gave you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of done away with that at the moment. There has been sword fights, but they've been a little less involved, shall we say. Involved. But I like it. It's really good. Puzzles are great. It's good fun. Yeah. It does make you think a little bit, but it's not. It's found that happy medium between difficulty and accessibility.
Yeah.
So that's how I would describe this game. The only other thing I played quite a bit of Midnight Fight Express on the Queen's funeral day before I went in hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Because I ain't watching that stuff on the telly. Good God.
What do you think?
Forever. I really like it. I've been playing some more today, to be honest. And it's a great pick up and play game because you can just play a couple of levels and put it down again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a good game.
I haven't played it actually this week, but yeah, I want to get back to it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just slick. And like I do agree with you, with like the Batman style combat and the counters and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I love how it just gradually does this nice way, gradually just getting more difficult as you go through all the levels.
It's a little Super Meat Boy-esque, isn't it? It's a little...
Yeah. They just start piling in the enemies. Then you get the security guards. Then you get like the heavies. So they just keep upping the ante all the time.
How far are you in?
I've killed the first boss, the first mini boss.
Okay.
And I'm about sort of halfway through the next section onto the second, going for the sewer rat or something he's called.
Oh yeah. I'm on
my way to him.
I got to the church. That's a reference.
Right. Okay. I've just finished all the train section stuff, and the railway station. So,
yeah, it's good. It's a good game.
It's very good.
It's available on Game Pass. Midnight Fight Express.
Better.
It's good fun.
It's probably one of those games you probably wouldn't look at twice. And
yeah. It kind of looks cheap, or like an indie game that you might like. Oh, I'll pass, but it's all right,
Yeah, it's definitely worth a go.
Definitely.
And that's everything I've played this week. So that's me done.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can move on to news.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of news. There's a lot of news actually. That being said.
Okay. Where'd my sound effects go? Sorry, hang on a second. Here we go. Sorry, got him. Here it is.
Putting news first.
Vampire Survivors is once again the most played Steam Deck game in September.
Yeah,
There you go, man.
it's a good
That's
game.
what everyone's playing that. Elden Ring and Cyberpunk's making a comeback on Steam Deck.
Have they fixed it?
And they must have done because everyone's loving it. Everybody's loving it. Ted Lasso and AFC Richmond are included in FIFA 23.
I
for
saw
anyone
that.
interested.
Yeah.
So if you want to play as Ted Lasso in the game, you can. Who
Yeah.
knew?
Okay.
Callisto Protocol's AI is more interested in scaring the shit out of you than actually killing you, apparently.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the fun, isn't it?
Yeah. So I kind of like that. Maybe not the best game for me currently. Just
No. No.
saying. So who knows? I don't know whether scaring the shit out of me is a good idea.
Maybe I'll stream it, Stu. You just watch me play.
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Maybe that's as bad. Don't know.
Yeah.
Dead Space Remake has no camera cuts or loading screens unless
Aye. God of War says hello.
I know it does. Yep, it's all one take apparently, unless you get killed. So you never cuts away. You never, like going back to.
I wonder if the new God of War is going to do that. You know.
It definitely. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
Why wouldn't it do that? Weird story. In the Imperial War Museum in London, they've got a new exhibition that looks at real conflicts, and it's in a UK exhibition exploring what video games tell us about conflict.
Right.
So it's entitled War Games, Real Conflicts. The exhibition is running now from till May 2023 and seeks to delve into one of today's most popular storytelling mediums, and that's how the reality of war is represented in the virtual world of video games.
Where's that at?
So it's the Imperial War Museum in London.
I'm going to London next week.
Well, maybe you can
Check
go
it
and have a
out.
look, see if
You
it's
want
worth a
full
look.
report.
Yeah.
I'm going to see a comedian, Duke. That's very controversial.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
who's that?
Ricky Gervais.
No, this is controversial because he kind of got cancelled.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Who is
Ricky Gervais tried to.
No, this guy got cancelled.
What, Jimmy
Ooh,
Carr?
Tell me a name.
It's Louis C.K.
Oh man, why are you giving that guy your fucking money?
Yeah, man. What are you doing?
First of all, I never thought he was funny. I never found Louis C.K. funny personally. I think he had some amusing moments as an actor, but whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
whatever.
not trying to judge other people. I wouldn't give him my money, but it's cool. More power to him.
As Chinny alluded to earlier, Google Stadia is shutting down in January.
Yeah.
It's gone.
And I can get my money back.
Get your cash back.
Money back.
I haven't done that yet, but I need to.
Vampire Survivors, talking of that being the biggest game on Steam Deck, will also be out of early access on the 20th of October.
Yeah.
So it'll be fully released on Steam. They're moving it to a new engine as well, weirdly. I'm not sure the reasoning behind that, but that's what they're
Crazy
doing.
Cats.
Crazy Cats. They're going to give it a new engine and all that kind of jive. And Scorn, another first-person horror game, gets reverse delayed because they're releasing it a week earlier. So they're releasing it on the 14th of
What's
August.
Scorn?
It's a first-person horror game.
Okay.
It looks kind of cool, so it might be one to watch.
Okay.
And unbelievably, the final little bit of news for tonight, and I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but Skull and Bones' release date has been delayed to early March next year yet again.
Oh, bless them.
I know, but it was meant to be November 8th, and it was coming to Stadia, believe it or not. Guess it's not anymore.
It ain't anymore.
Not anymore. So there you go. That's the news. There's not a lot of other news tonight, to be quite honest.
No, there's not. Should we talk quickly about this TV show that I made?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's no emails, by the way. So we.
Oh
we
my
can
goodness,
talk.
we really
No.
have nothing else to talk about. We're at the bottom of the
Nothing.
barrel here, people.
We're at the bottom of the
Welcome
barrel.
to
People
Duke's
didn't bother
TV
sending
Corner.
emails.
Yeah. So I was looking for something for us to watch on Friday night, and I had a hell of a week. It was really It was a really rough week. So I was like, I want something that I'm not gonna have to think about. I was looking for something I'd watched before, to be honest. I was like, how can I trick the Duchess into watching The Social Network again or something?
Tricker.
But then,
It's not like you to
well, not really
do
trick.
something that you've
Well, not really
do
trick.
something that you've already done, so you don't have to learn something new.
I know,
I
it's
know,
hard
yeah.
to believe that that's my MO, but it is. Not really trick, but basically convince her to do it. And basically, if I've had a rough week, she's so nice. She's always willing to be like, yeah, that's cool. Anyway, I didn't have to deal with that because when I went on Netflix, the first thing it suggested was this TV show, investigate documentary series called Eat the Rich.
Eat the Rich.
GameStop Saga. And I've always been interested in the GameStop saga, so I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. And the Duchess was like, okay, I don't know. But the nice thing about it is that it's in 3 episodes. It's basically a 90-minute documentary split up into 3 parts.
Yeah,
for
I
some
think it's
reason.
like 35 minutes, 29 minutes, and then 40 minutes,
Yeah,
something like that.
Basically 30 minutes each. So, yeah, and I was like, let's watch the first one. If you're into it, cool. If not, I'll watch the rest of it on my own. She's like, yeah, that works. And she ended up being really interested in it. So we watched the
It
whole
does a
thing.
good job of simply explaining some of the complicated things for
Absolutely.
newbies.
And that was her number one thing as well. Like, it's entertaining because it's describing something that had a lot to do with memes. A lot of the
Yes.
visuals are in meme format,
Yeah.
which is nice because then it's funny as you go through it, even when it's kind of dull. But they also have interviews with reporters at the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and stuff. So they did a really good job of balancing the in-depth stuff with the goofy, silly stuff. And it's just fascinating because it's not really about video games like GameStop. It could have been anything. This could have been Nabisco, who makes crackers in the U.S. It could have been, Fiat. It
Well, they
could have
mention
been-
AMC at the end as well, don't they? Because that was
Right,
the only
exactly.
one.
Right. So
Yeah.
the fact that it has to do with video games is kind of just tangentially related, although most of us have probably heard about, everybody's
Yeah,
heard about
everybody
it, but
heard about the
I think
AMC.
we those of us in the gaming world probably heard about it earlier because we know GameStop. So,
Yes.
it's certainly in the United States. I don't know about over there.
Yeah, no, it was big news. It was big news.
Was it
We did, but I didn't know all the ins and outs. I just thought it was a lot of Redditors and that were it. But it turns out that's not really the case at all.
Well, certainly
It kind
the
of is
Redditors
and
had
it
a lot to
isn't.
do with it.
It is and
Right.
it isn't.
Right. But as it started, and I had to bite my tongue a lot because at one point, when we finished the first episode, I was just blah, 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 commenting throughout the whole thing. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to stop giving you, Duke's commentary along the way. And she just looked at me and went, yeah, it's a bit much. And I was like, oh, all right, I'll ease back. But as soon as it started, my whole thing was, and this continues to be my whole thing, it's a good example of the Tinkerbell effect. In other words, in the movie Pinocchio, the audience has to clap for Tinkerbell, and that will bring her back to life, right? Reviving GameStop has always been a Tinkerbell affair. It's just like, if we can convince people that this stock has value, then it starts to have value. And GameStop doesn't have a future. There's no way it's going to become
No.
a viable enterprise again, which makes the Roaring Kitty guy sound like an idiot, or he's clearly just lying to everybody when he says, I believe in this stock, I like the stock, and I believe it has power.
No, he believed in the stock going up. And that
Exactly.
was because the dude from the pet place bought 9% of the shares.
Well,
And said he was going to
sure.
revitalize it and reinvent it as a new company.
Right, but it's obviously market manipulation. So just to make clear to listeners who have no idea what the hell we're talking about, this guy Roaring Kitty spent 2 years trying to get people to buy GameStop after there was this big investor who bought a chunk of GameStop, and he said, oh, if I can get everybody else to like GameStop, then we can get this thing actually moving and I can make money off it. And he did. But when it came time for the government to ask questions about, was this market manipulation, which it clearly was, suddenly he's saying, no, I believe in the company. I like the stock. I think it's got promise. And it's like, no, you don't.
But there
you
was never,
liar.
there was never any link between him and the pet shop owner dude.
Well, no, but
and
it was,
he bought 9% of the shares before any of this happened. And that's what the other guy noticed, and that's why he was
Right.
telling people to buy
Right.
shares in it, because he said, look, this dude's just bought 9%. He's
Right.
looking like he's going
Right.
to do a takeover, and he might
Yeah.
actually be onto something, and it
But a
might
takeover
he might
of what?
revitalize
There's nothing
it.
to take over.
Well, he obviously, because he sent him an open letter saying, look, and he got 3 seats on the board, didn't he? And said, look, I can revitalize your company. At the time he thought
Yeah,
he
but
could,
if somebody
maybe.
buys 3 seats on the board of Blockbuster, you're not going to invest in Blockbuster.
Yeah, but even 10% of the shares at the price of $4 a share was still a lot of money.
Yes, it was, but I don't believe that. I don't know why he would do that. The rich dude would do that, but I know that this Roaring Kitty dude was just purely trying to do the Tinkerbell thing of let's get everybody to care about the stock.
Yeah. No, totally, I
boost
agree.
the price so that I can make money, which he did, and then a lot of other people, some of them made money and some of them didn't. But my main point that I want to point out there, I want to put out there, and the show, the documentary doesn't really talk about this because they try to, some of the people who are involved were like, okay, these hedge fund managers, they got rich in 2008, and my parents lost their house, and that sucks that their parents lost their house. And we're gonna stick it to the man by making GameStop go up, and so everybody who shorted GameStop, which is basically where you bet on it going down, they lost all their money. This one hedge fund went out of business. Suck it. Yeah, we're sticking it to the man. Look, people, we are not going to invest our way out of the madness that the stock market has given us. That's like going into Caesar's Casino and being like, I'm going to take down this casino by playing roulette. No, you're not. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work like that. So I'm all for people, I'm all for what we need is regulation of Wall Street. Like, this showed that there's
never happening.
Well, people said that East Timor would never be free, and look how wrong they were.
If you watch the other documentary link I sent you off YouTube about money being worthless, that explains why that's never going to happen.
Well, a lot of people said East Timor would never be free, and they were wrong.
Because obviously,
so I don't buy the idea it's never going to happen.
When Carter stopped measuring money against the gold standard, and just decided the dollar was the standard, that's when the whole world's economy got fucked up.
Well, I've heard a lot of people say that the gold standard should be what we put our money to.
Yeah, but it's not anymore. It hasn't been since 1971.
Right, and that's fine. But
because
I don't think Carter was president in 71, but whatever.
It was whoever was president when it was in 1971. I don't know.
Dave.
But
the point is, it was Dave, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it was
that's
Dave.
why they made that movie with Kevin Kline.
But the point is, the American economy is just a giant Ponzi scheme.
Well, I mean, every economy is. I think most currencies now are not connected to an actual rare metal.
No. The reason, the problem with America is, and this is why everybody started wanting their gold back, was because when the Vietnam War happened, America just started printing trillions of dollars.
Hi, Big Hoss 89. Just let you know, they're still talking, but they can't hear me because I've muted myself on Zoom. And they're just talking about a documentary, and they're kind of boring me, so I'm playing Power Wash Simulator, but they can't hear a thing of this. All right, back to the show.
So it's whatever America does affects the whole of the world, because everything's measured against the dollar.
That was a little Lime exclusive.
Well, I need to look into it more before
you
need to watch the documentary I sent you. That's
I
what
can say anything about him,
look
and
at
they
that
won't
and
know.
look at other things on the same topic. So
yeah, so it is kind of interesting when you start to
very interesting
delve into
we look
how
at how
shit
interested
works.
Jimmy is. Yeah,
I know how shit
I enjoyed
works,
it.
man.
I enjoyed the thing.
Yeah.
I watched The Big Short. I like that movie.
Oh, yeah, that's a good movie too.
And it's
Now,
like,
Inside
the
Job.
opposite.
That's the best movie about the 2008 crash. That's a great movie.
It's got to be too clever for me, Duke. Whatever.
But
you
it
think.
gets worse. I mean,
It's
the
got
problem we've
Matt
got
Damon
these
doing the
days-
narration.
The problem we've got these days is, though, there's barely any physical money anymore. It's just numbers in a computer somewhere.
Well, the real problem is that people are investing in ways that do not add value to the world. Once upon a time, when you bought stock, it's because you believed the company was doing something that helped people and made their lives better. Now it's like,
Money.
I'm going to invest in this
Show
thing
me the
because
money.
it's going to explode in value. I'm going to invest in that thing because I think I can game the system. I'm going to invest in this thing because that person's betting against it. I'm going to go. It's all a casino. So, there's
It's
lots of problems with
posh
the economy.
gambling.
It is
It
posh
is posh
gambling.
gambling, definitely. We
Everything
all
is
agree on
posh.
that, which means we're going to move on. Anytime we get consensus on this show, it means
Yeah,
it's
it's a
time
good
for a
time to
new
move
topic.
on.
Yeah, we don't have any speak pipes, we don't have any emails, we got nothing.
Got nothing. Yeah,
I'm quite excited by the fact that Duke has Game Pass, so I'm going to look on the Game Pass app
Yes, let's
and
get
see if I
into
can
places.
recommend
Yeah,
him.
but I might not have it for long, so you better hurry up and
month.
Yeah, well,
You
that's
got a
why I'm
month
looking
in.
now.
Month.
And let's not forget, I've had like 20 games to play of demos and stuff on my Steam just
Shush.
sitting there waiting for me to play.
Shush.
And I never got around to any of those. So
Shush.
you can send me recommendations. I may
Shush.
not play them.
Shush.
All right, should we do shout outs? Is that what's next?
Can I just say, before we do shout out, Susan's just
Yeah, go
said
ahead.
big theory now that the new UK Chancellor has just helped his mate Short Sterling, which is pretty much what happened.
That's pretty ridiculous.
So apparently there's rumours or there's evidence that he had meetings with hedge fund managers
Yeah.
before or just after he made his announcements about the mini budget, which obviously made UK currency, like the pound, go down dramatically, and then obviously shorted it so that they could make loads of cash. Apparently, but he's denying all knowledge and said I did not give them any inside info. So, but he has like not 5p, you know, off top income earners that she's worth about £5 billion. So, you know, to all those people on 150 grand a year or more, lucky them.
I'll tell you what, the news is depressing.
Ain't it just?
Oh,
Yeah, fuck everybody who's trying to get a mortgage now.
Duke,
Yes.
can you play Man Eater?
Man Eater?
The song?
No, the game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, what are you talking about?
I don't want you to play the Nelly Furtado song, Man Eater.
Man Eater.
No, it's a Hall & Oates song, dude. Come on. What are you talking about, Nelly Furtado?
Oh, yeah, she's a Man Eater, isn't it?
Maybe. I mean, I'll
No,
start it
no, maybe. Play it.
Yeah, play it, man. Play it now. Play it.
Okay.
In fact, as soon as the show finishes, play it.
I will certainly look for it.
Yeah.
Play it now.
You play a shark and you eat people.
Yeah, hit the play button.
Yeah, so I've played games like that.
No, you
What makes
haven't.
this one different?
What game have you played where you play as a shark and eat people?
There's one on Steam. God damn, now I have to look up the one on Steam.
It's probably the
Motherfuckers always
same
wanna doubt
game.
me. When do I ever doubt you, Stuart?
I'm just asking you. You said live with great knowledge that you've already played a game. You make me give you evidence. Where's yours?
Evidence.
Having played a game where I'm a shark?
Yeah, and eats people. I want to know. I want to name of that game if it's not Man Eater.
Shark.
Because I don't think there is another one.
Deep. Is it called Deep? No, that's strange.
He's just making stuff up now. Chief.
Okay, play Man Eater.
Yeah, play Man Eater anyway. It don't matter.
Shark games. I'll find it this way.
Sure you will. Anyway.
Depth. It was called Depth.
Well,
I
it
played
sounds
Depth.
whack.
Depth.
Why does it sound whack?
I mean, like,
Sounds whack.
oh,
It's a shark game where you eat people. Like, what's
oh,
Man Eater?
what
It's a
should
shark
we name this
where you
game?
eat people.
Depth. I don't know. I'm going on break.
Yeah, playing Depth.
Anyway, are we ready for shout-outs?
I guess so.
Yeah, I think so.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
Question me about
It's a short show this week.
Sure.
Yes, it
We've
is, which is
shorted.
Fine, I got
The show's short.
Yeah.
I
backed it to. I shorted it, so I'm gonna get a lot of
gigs.
Yo.
The fuck, 18 gigs?
18 gigs is nothing.
Played on cloud, man.
It's
What's the
take 10
matter with
minutes
you?
when I'm not using
The Google logo is 18 gigs.
Yeah, it is.
See what I mean? Nothing. Remember when the hard drive on the Xbox 360 was 20 gigs? Remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
I remember my first PC had a 2 gig hard drive in it.
Yeah, and you thought you were
that
fucking
was a proper
balling.
PC. Yeah, I was like, look at me, 2 gigs, man.
2 gigs,
Suck it,
bitch.
and a dial-up modem. Woo.
I remember when the Xbox Live Arcade games, they couldn't be over 250 meg. Remember that?
Yes. Yeah, because it was
They
so
could-
small. And
yeah, the sizes
was
that-
it in an Xbox 360? What was it? Was it 1 gig?
No, there's 20 gig hard drive.
Oh, was it? I
Yeah,
don't remember it being that big.
yeah. I think it was half a gig if you didn't have the hard drive.
Right.
Fun.
All right, who's got shout-outs?
I've got a shout out, obviously, to you guys for filling in last week, and obviously Susan for
SLH.
filling my place as I was away with shit going down. I think that's it, really.
Cool.
I think I'm done.
Yeah. I'm going to shout out Mr. Hero on our Discord. He's been very kind to me. He's making some stuff. I'm sorry I'm not on TikTok, but it's good to hear from you. And thank you very much for the thing you're doing. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, so I'm not going to mention much about it. But yeah, shout out to Mr. Hero. And shout out to everybody who's showing me love on Twitter. Tainted Brain is always fun on Twitter. And Antonio and SLH. And I'm not just looking at my mentions. Jay and Tim Kelly, and yeah.
Oh, I'll shout out Jay because he's just started playing The Witcher 3 for the first time ever.
Jesus.
Ooh, okay.
Christ.
Oh yeah,
he's loving
Dan
it.
called SLH's mom an idiot. That's so rude.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
bit
just
rude.
kidding. That's not what he said, but it was this funny thing back and forth. So it's an inside joke that I just explained. You know how
And
funny inside jokes
I'll also, by the way, I should have shouted out Darren for being wrong about House of Ashes. As
Yeah.
well, just saying.
Well, I guess so. Any other shout-outs you want to do? Oh yeah, and Jay
No,
found
I'm
this
done.
cool Simpsons thing in an antique shop, and he thought of me. And I always love it when people think of me. Although to be fair, it's not hard to think of me because if you see Simpsons stuff, you think of me. And
Yeah, it's true.
It's been a while since anybody handed me something that was Simpsons related, just because they saw it.
He
and
should
thought
have
of me, but
bought it and shipped
He
it
should
to
have
you,
bought
Duke,
it.
if he was any sort
well,
of friend.
that gets very expensive.
Honestly.
£70 for the thing itself, and then $100 to ship it. I don't blame him for not doing that, but.
I think he should have done it.
But it's still really cool. I appreciate that. And shout out as always to Marty. He's had a hell of a time, and so we love him and hope he continues to do well.
There you go.
That's it.
That's it. Are we done? Are we done? Have you done
Chinny,
Chinny?
you got any shout outs?
Chinny. No, he's got shout out to his tissue.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tissues.
Kleenex
Shout
company,
out to
thank you.
Stu for not being dead.
Yeah, not yet.
Uh,
I'll try to stay this way as long as I can.
yeah,
Yeah,
it would
we want you to
be
here, man.
slightly annoying if you died.
I know.
Not that you contribute much to the show,
Thanks for that.
and not that I
Well, I
see
feel
you that
well
much. So
coming
to be
back
honest,
after my week in
to be honest,
hospital.
Stu, I'd get over it pretty quick. Do you know what I mean?
I'll try my best. I'll try my best.
No, but I'm glad you're feeling better, Stu. I'm glad to have you back on. So
Yeah.
shout out to Stu's heart for not stopping.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you.
And
Don't
shout
it out
out.
too loud because you don't want to.
No, 'cause you'll-
Yeah, don't jinx me, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shout out to Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Bit of a slow start to that show,
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's,
on it. I'm on it.
it's picking up
fairly
now.
well in.
The last episode was actually really good because something happens. So, whereas that was a critique of some of the episodes, like nothing's happening.
No, it's just building the picture.
I haven't watched the House of Dragons, which I've heard is
It's pretty good,
a lot
actually.
better.
There's a lot happening in that thing.
Yeah, it's a bit
Stuff
too.
is
Lord of the
going
Rings
down.
is a bit too clean for me. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit too like fine. Everybody's fine. There's a
Well,
lot of death in the last episode though, so that's good.
Just to let you know, House of Dragons is the exact opposite. of
Yeah,
that.
I know. I like that stuff. So yeah, Lord of the Rings of Power is getting better. It's not too bad. That's it really. I don't have anything else.
Is that it? Are we done? Is that
We're
it?
done.
Thanks
Are we
for
done?
listening, everybody.
Thank you.
If you like this podcast, there is another site you should check out, which is called VGHub.net. And on there, you find a bunch of links to other video game podcasts similar in vein to ours, but different in the way they're delivered. Some have all kinds of sound effects.
Are for old people.
Some talk about
Too many, some
RPGs.
people say.
Come on now.
Some might say that.
No one says that.
Then, of course, you have links to, great forums.
You don't have any other friends.
So check it out, VGHub.net. It is a great starting point for your podcast discovery.
Shout out to Greg DeLacy for doing that. Shout out to me for remixing. Shout out to CPM for being in there. And she also
I have got to agree with you. I'm having a look now, and he is correct.
Oh, thanks. Glad to hear that I'm correct.
There you go. You are correct. I have no idea what that was from, but I vaguely remember.
I don't know. I
saying
just
it.
had to have it as a sound clip so that I can play it whenever there's a question about whether I'm correct or not. Which, by the way, apparently, I've been doing a little research since you mentioned it, Stu. Both the U.S. and the U.K. suspended the gold standard during World War I. During the Great Depression, the U.S. went off the gold standard. World War II caused the Bretton Woods system in '44 basically ended the gold standard. So there have been a number of times when the gold standard has.
Yeah, no, but he
come and gone.
reinstated it. It was in the 70s when they paused it, apparently, because everybody started asking for the gold back when the Vietnam War started.
Right. So
they
war
wanted
has
the
always
physical-
been correlated to fluctuations in
They wanted
economies and
they wanted
governments.
the governments who invested in the gold standard, which was held in the UK and America, wanted the physical gold. Like so, countries like
sure.
Brazil, and then America went.
Well, this
Yeah,
comes
we'll
at a
just
really
put
bad time, Brazil. We're trying to
we'll just put a
bombs
pause
on
on
a
that
bunch of
for a
villages in
minute.
Cambodia. Right.
And they never unpaused it. So all
Right,
these
so all I'm
countries
saying
that had
is-
invested.
Right, but what I'm
in
saying is
gold.
like the gold standard has been kind of an on again, off again thing for most of the
Yeah,
20th century. So
Yeah,
you
true
know,
enough.
I don't know, whatever.
Who knows?
That's one of those topics I've meant to look into for a while.
It's
because
definitely
I
an
don't
off again. It's been off again
it
for
sounds to
40
me-
years.
I mean, on its face, like it seems like yeah, money should be tied to something tangible like gold. But on the other hand, it's always been, I mean, that connection is also make believe, right? Like there's going to be various amounts of gold because we dig more out of the earth and stuff, right? So, you know, I know there's theories why it might be good to go off the gold standard. I know there's arguments for being back on the gold standard. I haven't looked into it. I don't know much about it.
The thing with gold, it's a thing that's hard to process and hard to get.
Yeah,
but money, you can just keep printing as and when you need it, which is what America does most of the time.
Well, and now we're moving to a place where, you know, dollar bills aren't even, you know, most people don't use actual paper currency.
Nah.
So then it's like, okay, now we got credits or Bitcoin or whatever the fuck.
Well, I mean, that like America say wants to do a space program or do something like that, they just go to the whatever your treasury is there. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Or it's the same thing. And they just go, give us another.
Well, but that's a
$20
process
billion.
known as quantitative easing, where they just print a bunch more. But
yeah.
You know,
and then they do
and
IOUs, and then they sell those IOUs to other countries.
Oh, sure.
As
government
bonds.
Yeah, that's been oh, sure. The UK has bonds that it sells too. Every government prints bonds.
But that's what they
not
do.
unique
But
to
that's
the
how they.
US.
But those bonds are kind of. That's why they class it as a massive Ponzi scheme, because they buy all those bonds and then that money goes back into America. But then they print more money and then they do more IOUs and then they sell those IOUs.
Right.
And it's just a self-perpetuating circle of.
Well, but in a way, that's how all
printing
banks
money.
work too. Like banks function because they have people depositing things, and then they make loans. And if that's why a run on a bank is a problem, because if everybody wants their money back at once, every bank would collapse.
Yeah.
So there's this idea of confidence in the markets. But as you say, yeah, in a way, it's all built on sand. Like there's confidence in the markets to the point where we trust other people that they will give us our money when we need it eventually. But we can't all have our money back at the same time. So
no. It is,
and that's where macroeconomics gets really confusing to me. Because
that's why
that's why
money's worthless.
Well, it has the value we believe it has. It's the Tinkerbell.
Correct. But obviously, the more money you print, the more diluted it gets, and the more stuff costs.
Okay,
and that's why you
that's
get
enough.
inflation.
No more talking.
Yeah, we're done.
All right. Well, Stu, I hope you keep feeling well.
Well, I'm going
Jenny.
to bed. Tired now.
Yes, go to bed, Stu. Take it easy. I
Okie
guess you'll have
dokie.
like 20 games to talk about next week, huh? 'Cause you have
Exactly.
time off
I'll
from
have loads
work,
of games to talk about.
Yeah, but chill games. Don't play
Chill
horror
games.
games.
Chill.
or nothing.
No, I'm not going to play horror.
Kill
games.
games.
All right.
Play some kill
Okie
games.
dokie. I will catch you two on the other side. See you later.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Stu. Bye.